Welcome everybody. Today we are doing a full body Mat Pilates class. Apart from a few of the simple fun combos at the beginning, the exercises are super simple and well supported throughout the workout. We are really focusing on building foundational strength and stability through your body. It is beginner friendly, it's easy to follow along. I just recommend you grab a pair of socks for a few of the exercises. So grab your socks, grab your mat, and let's get started. All right, let's start off with your hip flexor stretch. So one leg in front, we're going to tuck the tailbone, keep your hips nice and square. The arm of the back leg comes up, and you're just going to slightly lunge forward. Remember to keep the tailbone tucked and keep the rib to hips. So you're actually feeling the stretch down the front of the leg. Beautiful. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, see if you can stretch just a little further, nice and gently. And swap sides. So leg forward, tuck the tailbone. Good. T-zone tight, arm can come up. And then feeling the stretch down the front of the leg, slightly lunging into the stretch. So just remember when you're stretching, it's a nice gentle stretch. You don't have to force the muscle, just let the muscles relax into the stretch. Beautiful. And let's come down onto your back. So we're going to just lay down on your mat and stretch out your glutes. So crossing one ankle over the opposite thigh, flexing the foot back, and then you can draw the legs towards you. Now this actually may be enough of a stretch, but I generally find most people need to thread their hands through and draw the legs towards them, feeling a nice stretch through the glutes. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, relaxing into the stretch. Beautiful. Now, if you don't know what I mean by your T-zone, please refer to my Pilates Basics video linked below. Beautiful. Slowly releasing that, and let's swap sides. So ankle crosses across, you can flex that foot back. This may be enough. Otherwise, threading the hands through and drawing those legs towards you, stretching out the glutes. Now you want to keep that back in neutral, so you don't want the bottom tucking up off the mat. Try to keep the tailbone on the mat and that back in neutral. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Lovely. Beautiful. Okay, just taking a moment, have your feet hip width on the mat, hands on your belly, and just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let it go. One more in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let it go. Okay, drawing in that T-zone. We are just going to go into your bent leg fall out, bent knee fall out. So we're just going to have your feet hip width on the mat and just lowering one leg out to the side as far as you can without letting the hips rock, and then bringing it back in. So it's an inhale to lower the leg out to the side as far as you can without letting the hips rock, and an exhale to bring it back in. Beautiful. Keep that going. Lower and then bring it back to that starting position. Good. Now your shoulders should be relaxing back and down, chin tucked in. You can have the hands out to the side, or I like to have some feedback. So hands on your hips, keeping those hips nice and still, giving you feedback. Lovely. Okay, we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop and then send it out away from you, and then bring it back to tabletop and then lower the leg back to the ground. So it's an inhale to lift one leg into tabletop, exhale to extend out slightly, inhale to bring it back, exhale to place it back on the ground. So your back is still in neutral, your T-zone is tight, your shoulders are relaxed back and down, and chin tucked in. When you're drawing your leg into tabletop, it's a 90 degree at the hip and knee. The shin is parallel to the ground. As you extend, you can go higher and not out as far to make it easier, or you can really extend lower and further to make it harder. Inhale to bring it back to tabletop. Exhale to lower it to the ground. Keep it going. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Beautiful. So just really focusing on keeping the back in neutral. Hips stay square and on the mat so they're not rolling or tipping all over the place. And we also want the rib to hip connection to stay strong. So as the leg goes out, you don't want to be doing this and arching your back. You want to keep that back in neutral. Only extend the leg out as far while you maintain that neutral position. Good. Okay, we have one more. Lovely. And bring those feet back down, hip width apart. Arms coming above your chest, palms facing towards each other. Remember, shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. We're going to lower the arms overhead only as far as you can without the hips popping. You want to keep the ribs down, neutral spine. And then we draw the arms back to that starting position. So you're going to lower, exhale, and then inhale to draw it back to the starting position. Good. Keeping the shoulders back and down, keeping the ribs down. You're using your core muscles to keep that neutral spine. Beautiful. Exhale and inhale. Really good. Lovely. Are you ready to add those two together? So one leg comes into tabletop. Now we're going to lower the legs and lower the arms. Core is tight. Bring them back and then lower the leg to the ground. Swap legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now, anytime today you're feeling any discomfort or pain through the back, neck, hips, or joints, please stop the exercise. Listen to my cues. Reset your form. If you're still feeling discomfort, just come back to an easier exercise or skip the exercise and have a little breather. No problems. Good. We have one more. Lovely. Excellent. Okay, from here, we are going into an ab curl. So we're going to interlace your hands behind your head. Elbows are wide, shoulders are pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Neutral spine. Feet are still hip width on the mat. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, you're going to curl the body up, drawing your ribs to your hips, using your core muscles. Exhale to come back down. Good. Exhale to curl up, ribs to hips. Use your abdominals, not your arms. Keep those elbows wide, shoulders pulling back and down. Try to keep those hips nice and square. They don't move. Try to keep your back in neutral. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to come back down. Good. To make it harder, you can try to curl up higher. Just keep the form. To make it easier, you don't have to curl up as high. Beautiful. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to come back down. Let's go. A few more. We have 3 to go. Are your elbows staying wide? Are your shoulders pulling back and down? Chin tucked in, so your eyes should be facing the knees as you come up. Good. Lovely. All right, gently coming up, we need your socks for the next few exercises. So hop on your socks and then come to the bottom of your mat. Now, I didn't leave myself enough room, so mind me, I might need to roll up my mat. All right, so we are at the base of your mat and we are doing double leg slides. So starting with your feet hip width apart, neutral spine, we're just going to slide your feet away from you. Again, keeping the neutral spine, so you don't want your back to arch. And then slide them back in. So it's an exhale to slide them out and an inhale to slide them back in. Really good. Keeping all those deep core muscles super tight. And keep your belly scooped. So you want to keep your T-zone nice and flat. Good. You don't want the belly to be doming and you don't want the back to be arching. Keep those T-zone muscles scooped and tight. Beautiful. So let's exhale to slide out. Inhale to slide it back in. Good. Let's bring those arms back up above your chest and add them together. So as you slide the arms out, your legs are also going to slide out. So as your legs slide out, your arms go overhead again without arching the back. Only go as far as you can while maintaining that neutral spine. Good. Keeping the T-zone tight. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Lovely, just 2 to go. So to make it harder, you can slide out further, but only as long as your back stays in neutral and you're not arching through your lower back. 1 to go. Good. All right, we're going to add a little combo. So we're going to do an ab curl, come back down, and then slide those legs out. Come back in, ab curl, and slide. Good. A few to go. Excellent. Exhale to slide out. Inhale to slide them back in. 2. And 1 more. Well done. Beautiful. All right, bringing those legs up in tabletop. Don't worry, we've only got 1 exercise with our legs in tabletop. So both legs in tabletop. Remember, a 90-degree at the hip and knee. Shins parallel to the ground. Legs are hip width distance apart. Now it's really important to keep the imprinted spine so the back does not arch, especially as the leg goes out. So T-zone tight. Inhale. And then exhale, we're going to tap 1 leg at a time. So tapping the leg, keeping the 90-degree at the hip and knee. So inhale T-zone, exhale to tap, inhale to bring it back. Exhale to tap, inhale to bring it back. Again, you want to keep the T-zone scooped and the spine imprinted. If you are finding them too hard and the back is arching or there's any pressure through the lower back, we'll just go back to those leg slides. Yeah. Otherwise, legs in tabletop, scoop the T-zone, exhale to tap, inhale to bring it back. We're not here for long. Keep those shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. To make it easier, you can decrease the angle at the knee slightly. No problems. To make it harder, you can increase the angle at the knee. Just remember, no matter what, keep the same angle at the knee because the movement is coming from the hips. And they are done. Hug those knees in. Beautiful. You can rock side to side, giving your back a nice gentle massage. Okay, if you can easily slide the socks off, please do. We don't need them anymore, so I'm going to get them out of my camera shot. All right, and we want the feet on the mat, hip width distance apart. Try not to have them too far out. Bring them in so you can nearly touch them or touch them. We are now working the glutes. So inhale T-zone. Exhale, you're going to squeeze your glutes, tuck the tailbone under, and then roll the hips up 1 vertebra at a time until you're coming as high as you can, aiming to get a nice straight line from the knees to the shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale, roll it back down 1 vertebra at a time. Excellent. Inhale, push through the heels. Exhale, squeeze the glutes and roll it up one vertebra at a time. Now you don't want the back to be arching, so you really want to keep the rib to hip connection. Really working the core muscles as well. Good. Inhale. Exhale to roll it up. Push through the heels. Squeeze your glutes. Good. Exhale to roll up. Inhale at the top. Exhale to roll down. Inhale at the bottom. Now you should be pushing through the whole foot and most not through the toes. So you don't want to be up on the toes. We want to really fire up those glutes. So pushing through the whole foot, especially the heels. And we want to focus on keeping the knees in line with the feet. So they're like train tracks, nice and straight. Good. At the top, you want to keep the rib to hip connection and the glutes firing. Lovely. Let's go 2 more. Rolling it up one vertebra at a time. Keeping the shoulders relaxed back and down, chin tucked in. Good. We have 1 more. Are you feeling your glutes? I am. All right, come back up and let's hold this next one up. Good. Keeping that rib to hip connection strong, T-zone strong. Exhale, we're going to open the knees just slightly. Inhale to bring them back to the starting position. Keep squeezing your glutes. Keep pushing through the heels, squeezing those hips up nice and high. Really firing up these glutes. Good. At any time you need a rest today, please take it. Often a 3-4 second rest can give you enough recovery time to come back super strong with perfect form. Take it anytime you need. Good. Exhale to open. Inhale to bring it back. Good. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to center or back to hip width and roll it back down 1 vertebra at a time. Well done. Were you feeling those glutes? Good. Give those knees a little hug. Beautiful. All right, gently rolling it up, and we're going to lay on your side. So we're going to lay all the way down with your head resting on your arm. Now we want a straight line from the hand, shoulder, hip, and feet at the back of your mat. We want the hips stacked, so push that top hip away to keep a nice gap between the waist and the floor. Top hand can come out in front for balance. Excuse me. All right, so we want the T-zone on. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, you're going to squeeze the heels together, squeeze the glutes, and open that knee. We're really working into these outer glutes now, those external hip rotators. So exhale to open and inhale to release. Make sure your shoulders are pulling back and down, chin is tucked in. We don't want the shoulders to be up here. We want to build nice posture. So shoulders back and down, chin tucked in. Make sure your back is in neutral so you're not arching your back. Keep the rib to hip connection. We also don't want the bottom to be tucked under. So make sure your bottom is sticking out just slightly. Good. Exhale to open, squeezing the heels together, squeezing the glutes. Inhale to slowly release. Keeping those movements nice and slow and controlled. Really good. Are you ready to add on? So it's going to be an inhale to open, exhale to extend the leg long in line with the rest of the body, no lower than hip height. Inhale to bring it back, exhale to lower. Good. Keep that going. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Only a few to go. Good. Really lengthening the body in line with the rest of the spine. Good. And no lower than hip height. If you want to make it harder, you can go higher and more further back, just as long as your back is not arching and you're losing the rib to hip connection. Good. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 1 more, keeping that knee facing straight as well. You don't want to curl up and let the hips rock back. Excellent. And they are done. Well done. Tap the glute out if you need. All right, we are only going into a few of these straight leg lifts. So you're going to bring the leg out again. So open the leg up. We're going to bring the leg forward in line with the other thigh and relax the foot down to the ground. Inhale, we're going to lower the leg. Inhale, T-zone, and lower the leg. Exhale to squeeze it up. Inhale to lower, exhale to squeeze it up, really firing up these outer glutes. Keep the hips stacked, keep the gap between the waist and the floor. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower, exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Make sure it's all glutes and you're not feeling it down the front of the leg. If you're feeling it down the side of the leg, these glutes aren't doing their job. I'd have a rest or even go back to your clam exercises. Otherwise, you have one more. And then bring those legs back in. Well done. Tap them out. All right, we are going to go into an inner thigh lift. So lengthening the bottom leg, but keeping a 90-degree at the top. So inhale T-zone, exhale, you're going to lift the bottom leg using the inner thigh muscle. Exhale to lower. Good. Without resting it on the ground. Exhale to lift again. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Good. Keep it going. Really lengthening through the leg, pointing the toe, and keep that knee facing straight to really fire up those inner thighs. Good. Keep the leg in line with the rest of the body. Keep the shoulders pulling back and down. Good. And exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Good. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. So good. Are you enjoying your day today so far? I hope you are, and I hope you're enjoying this workout. Hope you're smiling. Let's hold these next ones up. So we're going to hold the next one up and just do pulses at the top half. Just for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Good. 4, 3. You can breathe naturally. 2, and 1. And slowly lower. Well done. All right. Rolling over onto your hands and knees. We are going to do a cat-cow. So we are going to start in your all-four position with your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Inhale, T-zone, exhale, round the spine, arching the back up like a cat stretching. And then inhale, come back to that neutral position. You can lower the back slightly, lift the eyes, gaze to the top of the mat. But I don't want you to dump through your lower back and hyperextend the neck. Back to neutral. Exhale to round. Inhale to come back. Eyes to the top of the mat. Shoulders pulling back and down. In the all-four position, make sure you're not sagging. You want to lift the spine to meet the shoulder blades. Exhale to round. Inhale to come back to neutral. Lower slightly. Eyes raised. Exhale to round. Inhale. Lovely work. Okay, we are now going into some horse kicks. So you're working the same glute. So the leg that was on top is continuing on. Knees are still under your hips. We are going to hover the working glute. So hover that knee off the mat slightly and then extend the leg out to squeeze the glute and lift the leg. Inhale to bring it back. Now in this position, you want to keep most of the weight through the knee, not dumping on the hands. Exhale to lift. Inhale to bring it back. Now I'm really focused on keeping the rib to hip connection so you're not arching through the back, especially as that leg goes out. You don't want to be doing these ones. Yeah, we want to keep the rib to hip connection and squeeze the glute without letting the back arch. We also want to keep the hips nice and square, so as that knee comes back, it should be just hovering off the mat. Inhale to bring it back in. Exhale to extend out. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Keeping the weight back through that back stabilizing knee. Keep lifting the spine. Keep the spine nice straight line. You don't want the head to be sagging or the spine to be sagging towards the ground. Lift. Good. Shoulders pulling back and down. Good. You have 3. Good. Really stretch, lengthen the leg, point the toe. And let's hold the next one up. So keep it long. And now we're going to lower the leg towards the ground and then lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Good. Stay with me. You should be feeling both glutes work, keeping the weight through that back knee, working that glute to stabilize, and then working the top leg to lift. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it back in. And do a nice little circle to shake it out. Lovely work. All right, we now have to do that on the other side. Hello, little one. Okay, so laying all the way down, we are doing your clams. So remember, a nice straight line from the hand, shoulder, hip, and feet at the back of your mat. Hips are stacked to keep a gap between the waist and the floor, so a nice long neutral spine. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, squeeze the heels together, squeeze the glutes, and open that knee. Keep everything nice and still, so you don't want the hips rocking. You want to keep the hips stacked the whole time. So to make it harder, you can open the leg further, but you don't want the hips to roll back. Keep the hips stacked and nice and still, working that T-zone to keep it nice and still. Good. Exhale to open. Inhale to lower. Are your shoulders pulling back and down? Are you scooping your T-zone? Exhale to open. Inhale to lower with control. Good. Try not to rest at the bottom. Good. Keep the tension. Exhale to open. Inhale to lower. Good. Are you ready to add on? Inhale to open. Exhale to extend the leg in line with the rest of the body. Inhale and exhale. Good. Really working these outer glutes. And like I said before, if you're feeling it too much down the side of the leg, we want to strengthen these up more. So continuing on just strengthening by doing just your clams. You can also just do a few extensions until you build up more strength. No problems at all. Or you can just have a rest and then come back when you're ready. Good. We have 3 more of these. Just check your ribs are in. You're not arching your lower back. Good. Your bottom is tucking out slightly. Your T-zone is tight. Excellent. Last one. Amazing. All right, and extending that leg out again, we're going to draw that leg forward and relax the toes down towards the mat. Inhale to lower, exhale to draw the leg up. Inhale to lower, exhale to draw the leg up. Just remember keeping those hips nice and square. Good. And we want these glutes to be firing, not down the front of the leg. We have 3. Shoulders pulling back and down, tummy is tight. 2. And 1. And bring the legs back in. Well done. Were you feeling those? I definitely were. Okay, we are coming over. Oh, sorry. No, we are not. We are going into your inner thigh lift. So top leg 90 degrees out in front. Bottom leg is extended out. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, lift the bottom leg. And then exhale to lower. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Really focus on keeping that neutral spine and keeping the gap between the waist and the floor. Good. Try not to rest the leg on the mat. Try to just lift and lower with control. Is the leg in line with the rest of the body? Is the knee facing forward? Excellent. Shoulders pulling back and down. Chin tucked in. Really good. Are you starting to feel that inner thigh? Let's go 3 more. Sometimes it takes a while for these ones to kick in. Good. Let's hold the next one up and we're going to pulse at the top half. Tiny little pulses. Tummy is tight. Hips are stacked. Good. Using that inner thigh. We have 5. Good. Exhale to lift. Or if you're going a little bit faster, you can just breathe naturally. So inhale for a few reps and exhale for a few reps. Good. You got 3, 2, and 1. Lower. Well done. All right, we are rolling over. This time we are just going to take a little stretch. So we're going to lift one hand up and then thread it underneath, rotating the spine, keeping the hips above your knees. Gently resting your cheek on the mat, just to feel a gentle stretch through the upper back. Good. Keeping that supportive hand under the shoulder. Good. T-zone is tight. Push the arm up to come back. Let's swap sides. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, thread the hand through. Keeping the hips above the knees. Rotating the spine to bring the ear towards your mat. Lovely. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, push and come back to the quadruped position. Excellent. Continuing on with that glute. So all 4 position. Remember to lift the spine, neutral, long lifted spine. We're going to hover the knee, squeeze the glute. T-zone is on. Exhale, extend the leg long. Beautiful. Inhale to hover back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Remember to keep that neutral spine. Don't let the back arch. So you really want to keep the rib to hip connection, especially as the leg goes long. If you're finding the back arch, lower the leg slightly. Good. Otherwise, you can stretch longer and further and higher to make it harder. Again, as long as you're not arching through your lower back. Remember to keep the shoulders back and down, chin tucked in, head is lifted. Remember to keep the weight back through the back knee to work both glutes. One leg to stabilize, one to lift and extend. Good. You have 3, 2. Next one, hold long. So keep it long. And now we're going to lower the leg towards the ground and then lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Keep the spine lifted, no sagging. Keep the shoulders pulling back and down. Keep the rib to hip connection so you're not arching through the lower back. Remember to keep the hips nice and square. Good, working those glutes. You have 3. You have 2. And 1. And let's bring it back in. Well done. Send your bottom back. You can widen the knees slightly and come into a prayer stretch. So sending the hips back towards your heels and lengthening out those arms and resting the body towards the ground. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, see if you can relax into the stretch a little more. Beautiful. And coming on up out of that one. Lovely work. All right, we are now going into some knee lifts. So back to the quadruped position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, you're just going to lift and hover those knees off the ground. And then lower. Good. Inhale, lift, keeping that neutral spine. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. This works the whole body. Just want to make sure you're scooping the belly, lifting your belly button towards your spine, keeping the shoulders back and down, chin tucked in, and lifting through the spine. Good. You got 3. You got 2. You got 1. Can you come up and hold this next one for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Well done. And coming back to your prayer stretch. Lovely work. Okay, next ones we are laying all the way down onto your belly. Now we're working these posture muscles between the shoulder blades, your lower and mid traps. We're going to tuck your tailbone under, so we don't want to be arching through your lower back. So pushing the pubic bone into the mat, lifting the belly button, and then extending the upper back. Shoulders are pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Now, we're really pulling the shoulders back and down. We're going to turn the palms up and then turn the palms down. Just remember, you're not arching through your lower back. Really pushing the pubic bone into the mat so there's no tension through your lower back. Now we are lifting the head, but anytime the neck gets tight, you can also rest the head on the ground. If you also feel a little cushion or a pillow or a rolled up towel would help to support the head, you can just pop that under here. Otherwise, the shoulders are pulling back and down, chin is tucked in, and we're just turning the palms up, palms down, palms up, palms down, pushing that pubic bone into the mat. Inhale for a few rotations, exhale for a few rotations. Good, you shouldn't feel this through your lower back. Good, squeezing those shoulders back and down. We only have 3 to go. We have 3, 2, and 1, and lower. Well done. Were you feeling these posture muscles? Okay, this time we're bringing the hands up towards your head. We're going to again tuck your tailbone under and extend the upper back. Lifting those hands now off the mat, palms face towards the ground. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. We're just going to do little circles. So exhale and then inhale, circle the arms up and around. Making little circles with the arms. Again, working between the shoulder blade muscles. Are you squeezing the shoulders back and down? Locking them in that position and then circling the arms. Again, you shouldn't feel this through your lower back. Really tuck the tailbone under. Keep pulling your core in, pulling your belly button towards your spine. We have 5. We have 4. We have 3. And these 2 last exercises you can do up standing. So if you do struggle to be in this position, no problems. You can do them standing. Shoulders back and down. 1 more. And done. Well done. All right, we are going to come up and do some push-ups. So this time our hands are out at the edge of the mat, slightly in front of you. We're trying to keep a nice long spine from the crown of the head towards your knees. So no sagging and no sticking your bum up in the air. Locking that high plank position, we're just going to lower the chest towards the mat, 3 levels, and then 1 level up. So inhale T-zone and lower, 3, 2, 1. Exhale to drive up using your chest. Now just make sure your shoulders are over your hands or your hands are under your shoulders and your chest is lowering between the hands, really working the chest muscles. Inhale and exhale. Shoulders pulling back and down, chins tucked in. Again, lifting the upper spine to meet the shoulder blades so you're not sagging. Good. Inhale to lower, exhale to drive up. You're 3 to go. You have 2. You have 1. Well done. All right, send it back into that prayer stretch. So lengthening out those arms, sending your hips down towards your feet. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale. See if you can relax into it a little more. Keeping the chin tucked in. Beautiful. All right, coming back up. We're going to now hold that high plank position. So lifting the spine, creating a nice straight line from the crown of your head towards your knees. Draw the ribs to hips so you're not arching through your lower back. So ribs to hips, T-zone tight, and we're just holding this position. Good. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Good. Really drawing through that core, drawing the belly button in. Good. Excellent work. Stay strong. Excellent. Keep breathing. You're doing well. You got 10 more seconds. Good. Shoulders pulling back and down. You got 5, 4, lift the spine, 3, 2, and 1. Send your body back and come up on your knees. Beautiful. Okay, we are now coming up and we are going to stand and do a few squats. We are so close to the end. Now, we're going to just do a few squats, strengthening those legs and glutes. So when we squat, feet are hip width apart, and we're going to bend the knees, send our bottom back, and then squeeze our glutes, come up. Now, we want to keep the center of gravity back, so we're pushing through the heels. We're not rolling forward into the toes and feet. So send the weight back through the heels, squeeze your glutes, and then drive up. Keeping that spine in neutral. So only go as far as you can, maintaining that neutral spine. You don't want to come so far your bottom is rolling out, and you definitely don't want to be hyperextending your back. Keep a nice long neutral spine. So ribs to hips and T-zone tight. Beautiful. Now, the other thing you want to really focus on is keeping the knees straight and in the same direction as your feet. Good. We have 3 to go. We have 2. We have 1. And guess what? We're going to come down and hold. We got 5. Keep the core on, T-zone tight, shoulders pulling back and down. We got 4, 3. Weight through the heels, remember. 2. And squeeze your glutes and come on up. Well done. Okay, last exercise for today is your Pilates roll down. We're just going to start in a mountain pose though. So feet hip width. We're just stacking your knees, hips, shoulders and head above your feet and lengthening the spine. Just taking a few deep breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, relax and let it go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Your shoulders pulling back and down. Chin is tucked in. Last breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let it go. All right, we're going into your Pilates roll down. So we're going to tuck the chin. It's like we're peeling your spine off a wall, imaginary wall. So chin tucks, and then we roll the upper spine, then the mid spine, and then the lower spine. Knees can be soft. We're rolling all the way down. Keep the T-zone tight until we're hanging. Hands towards the mat. Remember, you can bend the knees and keep a slight bend to take pressure off the hamstrings. But here you should feel a stretch down the back of the legs. And just enjoy the release through the spine. Okay, now we're going to reverse the roll down. So we're going to keep your T-zone tight, tuck the tailbone under, ribs to hips, and then we're going to unroll. So it's the lower spine coming back onto the imaginary wall, the mid spine, and then the upper spine until you're standing up nice and tall. We got 2 more of those. Chin tuck, 1 vertebra at a time, rolling it down. Keep the T-zone tight, getting nice articulation through each vertebra, through your spine, till you're hanging. Take a moment here. Beautiful. And then unroll, tucking the tailbone, and then rolling it up 1 vertebra at a time until your shoulders are stacked over your feet. Good. Shoulders pulling back and down. Let's go. 1 more. Chin tuck. and then upper spine, mid spine, lower. Lovely. And then last, rolling up. Until you're standing up. Super. So well done today. You are done. I hope you loved the workout. We are just finishing off with a few stretches. So just coming down onto your knees. We're just going to do a few shoulder rolls. So rolling the shoulders back. Good. And then rolling the shoulders forward. Good. Keep the T-zone tight. Keep the ribs to hips. All right. And then we're just going to have the hands out and shoulders pulling back and down, really lengthening through those arms. Keeping your shoulders back and down, chin tucked in. Just going to tilt your head to the side, stretching down the side of the neck. Good. So keep the T-zone tight, ribs to hips, neutral spine. Good. And let's go to the other side. Excellent. And back to center. Last stretch today. Now, we're stretching out your glutes in your pigeon pose. If this doesn't feel any good for any reason, your knees or hips, you can do the glute stretch we did at the beginning of the class, laying on your back. Otherwise, we're going to bend one leg up in front of you, trying to get that shin across your mat. We're lengthening out through that back leg as long as you can. Now this glute should be close to the mat. I'm very tight in this position, so mind my hips are a little bit lifted. You can also put a cushion under there to support. This may be enough to stretch out these glutes. Just remember shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Otherwise, if you want to come down a little deeper, you can come down onto your elbows. Just remember there should be no discomfort through your knees. You can lay on your back and do your glute stretch how we did at the beginning of the class, no problems. Now this is our last stretch today, so if you feel you need a little longer in this stretch, no problems. We do hold a lot of tension through our hips and glutes, so please take a longer stretch if you need. But if you're coming with me, coming back to those hands, and let's swap sides. So crossing that leg over in front. Trying to get that shin across the front, across the mat, keeping the hips nice and square. This may be enough. T-zone tight, shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Otherwise, you may want to come down a little lower onto your elbows. Beautiful. Really lengthening out that back leg. How are you guys feeling? I hope you're feeling a lot better than when you started. I hope you're feeling amazing. I hope you enjoyed today's workout. All right, let's come out of that stretch if you're ready. And you are done. I hope you loved today's workout. I definitely did. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought, and can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now. See you guys. Bye.